Hey everybody, it is iWuShock again with another information video about Bit Heroes. Today, I'm going to go over guild perks. Why do you need them? What order should you get them? Why would you hold off on some that seem really good? I'm going to answer all of those questions for you in today's video, and I'm going to be putting up each guild perk icon in order from top to bottom of what order I think you should get them in. First up, the very first one that you should work on is maximum members. There's a few other ones that you might want to work on in conjunction with this one, but the more members you have, the better you're going to do in events, the more guild bucks you get, and the faster you can get the rest of the perks. This one, getting it maxed really quickly, lets you get the other ones just so much faster. The second one is experience. Now, with your guild, you have what's called a guild shop that you use honor to get. Not only is experience useful in the fact that it is a constant, you're not relying on RNG, honor is also a function of experience. For every 10 experience you gain, you get 1 point of honor. The more honor you get, the more consumables you can buy in the shop, and the more consumables you buy, the more experience you get, and the more honor you get. It feeds into itself, which is why this one is also super important to get. The final of the top tier is item find. This one is just, it's going to help you get gear a lot faster. You don't get up to a huge amount, but every little bit with item find helps, and as you're trying to recruit members to your guild, you want them to be able to get item find. A lot of people won't even join a guild unless it's got a high item find amount. Starting off on tier 2, I always like to start with max shards. Shards regenerate once every 2 hours, and you have a maximum of 4, so in order to not cap out on regen, you have to play every 8 hours, which isn't exactly sustainable. By getting max shards up about 2 or 3 levels, you really can have more time offline before you're capped. I don't usually max this one right away, but I'll get up to level 3 or 4 before I move on to the next one. Then very similarly with Zeals. This one I do max the whole way up as soon as I start on it. You start with 10 Zeals that regenerate every 45 minutes. This one will let you have 15, letting you run way more regen on something that is generally considered the best way to get legendary materials. Also in this tier is speed. This is something that you might not really think about, but speed is going to let you run more resources in less time. So if you're on something like a Bitgore, you're going to be able to get more runs in because you are making each run faster. This one isn't super important early on in the guild's life, but it's something that as you guys make pushes, you really want to pump into. Finally in the second tier is capture rate. Familiars are the lifeblood of PvE. Every time you do a flag, you need familiars, Trials and Gauntlet, you need familiars, and familiars stay with you forever. They will up tier with you. So including this extra bit of capture chance is really cool because there's not a whole lot of chances to up your capture chance, as the basic 25% scrolls that most people are using every day does not include capture rates. Jumping into tier 3 is where you start to get a little bit more controversial. I've got Gold Find as first. Personally, it's not my favorite perk, but a lot of my guild members have really liked it, and with the introduction of mythic materials and mythic crafts, you start going through gold a lot more, so having this extra bit, which is guaranteed like experience was, does help you get to those mythic materials faster. Now the next 3 in tier 3, my OCD makes it so that I like to put them all together. I get all 3 level 1, then all 3 level 2, then all 3 level 3. That's your max badges, your max tickets, and your max tokens. These tend to be run together. You know, when I log in, I do my PvP tickets, then I do my badge event, then I do my tokens, then I move on to raids. So having those all together really helps me with my OCD, and it might be something that you want to talk about with your guild about raising them all together. By raising them all together, it does take a little bit longer to get to your next perk, but in the end, you did spend the same amount of time. Then we get to the 4th tier, the tier that just honestly I always save for last. They're generally expensive, they don't give a huge bonus, but you still have them, and eventually you will get to where you need to upgrade them. The very first one is max energy. Level 1 of this gives 10 max energy, which is great, but then every subsequent level just gives 1 to max energy. So you end up paying a lot more for a lot less. And generally by the time you're getting to this point, a lot of your guild is level 400, 500, 800 in some cases, like for the individual members. And so they've already got a ton of energy anyways. So like a level 800 person is gonna have like 900 some odd energy. And I think just 900 exactly, maybe 899. And so 10 energy really doesn't have an effect on them. And then we come to the regeneration ones. They seem like a really great deal, but they're not. Like, I can't make it any clearer than that. They're not a good deal. They're extremely expensive and they give you very, very little bonus. The very first one that I would recommend going for is your shard regeneration. You pay 400 tickets and get 3% shard regen, which is going to have the highest actual increase because shards are your slowest regenerating resource. The next one that I would possibly work on would be your zeal regen, and that's just because you're going to use it more than most of your other resources. You're going to need to be able to be running a lot of world boss for familiars, so just pumping that up a little bit is helpful. Then finally we have the 15 resource regens, your tickets, your tokens, and your badges. These I always do very, very last. You know, your very first level is 3% for 400 tickets, and this is the same for all of regen. Then your next one is 800 tickets for an extra 1%, then 1200 tickets for an extra 1%, then 1600 for an extra 1%, and I do apologize, I do mean to say guild bucks, not tickets. And then 2000 for an extra 1%. You're spending tons of these guild bucks to get really nothing in return. And I do want to make sure that I'm being very explicit in how I just really don't think that the regen perks are worth it. If you have tokens at level 1, which gives you the 3% bonus, and then you jump it to a level 5, each token, ticket, badge, those resources, they'll regenerate 1 minute and 48 second difference for something like 5,000 guild bucks. Then another one is energy, going from level 2 to level 5 for about 4,000 guild bucks is a 5-second difference per energy regenerated. The biggest difference is going to be in raids, just because it's such a long regeneration time, but going from level 2 to level 5 increases your regen time by 3.5 minutes per raid shard. So it's a huge investment, but there's really no return on it. So that's why I do put those, even though they seem really enticing, at the very bottom, the very last things you want to put up. Anyways, that's my quick tier list on guild perks. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below and we can figure out the best way to level up your guild perks beyond just my thoughts. Until next time though, keep grinding and may RNG forever be in your favor.